Hey, May from Basic Black. I'm here to talk about why most men can't handle strong women. It is an article from thepowerofpositivity.com. I am going to read off the reasons, and then there are several that I'm going to just dive into and see my list. All right, so 10 reasons why most men can't handle a strong woman. Reason number 1. A strong woman doesn't need a man to fight for her. A strong woman knows what she wants. A strong woman will require honesty and vulnerability. A strong woman is not intimidated by intimacy. A strong woman can see through lies. A strong woman requires integrity and consistency. A strong woman is intense. A strong woman will not wait for you. A strong woman will love you unconditionally. And number 10, a strong woman will show you who you are.
Hi friends, Angel with Unbasic Black here, and as May mentioned, today we are talking about the 10 reasons why some men, most men, cannot handle a strong woman. While I agree with some of the things mentioned in the article, there were some things that kind of gave me pause. We don't own any rights to this article related to power of positivity. We are discussing it in the interest of just that discussion. I will put a link in the description so you can see the article for yourself. We will try not to infringe on any copyright. We are just discussing the article and some of the content in the article. One thing mentioned was the first thing: a strong woman doesn't need a man to fight for her. I think I understand what they mean by that, because there was one thing that was mentioned in the article, that a man has to be willing to walk along beside the woman as opposed to dragging her in a direction that you think she should go. Again, not paraphrasing, not even quoting, just discussion's sake of my interpretation of the article. But I agree with that. I think any person should be willing to walk with their woman as opposed to trying to possess or own her or dictate what she should and should not do. That being said, though, when you're in a relationship, there is give and take, there is compromise. So that was, some of the things that were mentioned in this article is what gave me pause, because it kind of makes it seem like if you're a strong woman, you cannot have a soft side. But I'll get into that a little bit more in a minute.
So, I'm going to start with number 1. All right, number 1. But before I do that, so in the article, what makes a strong woman? So, I'm assuming it's a woman who wrote the article, does her bit, talks about the struggles and all of that. So, yeah, what strong women are not strong women by choice. That stuff that's happened over a period of time that's made her who she is. So she her struggles, her mistakes, her triumphs, all of those things make her who she is. And for some people it takes time, like years. Others are forced into it young to be strong because of things at home or things that happened everything's most likely outside of their control, and she's had to learn how to deal with these things that have happened in her life. And hopefully as she's developed this strength, that strength is not rooted in bitterness, because that just eats away at our souls. So better, not bitter. That's what I strive for in becoming strong. Okay, so the first one I wanted to focus on was: a strong woman doesn't need a man to fight for her. And the first sentence is: a man needs to feel wanted. Yeah, He does. I had a stepdad like that. He and my mom got into some really heated arguments, and I just we were talking. My mom and I were talking about it. And I was like, well, maybe he just doesn't feel like he's doing anything. And my mom talked to him and was like, yeah, you don't give me any. I don't feel like you need me here. And the truth was, she didn't. She wanted him there, but she didn't need him to like take care of us because she had already been taking care of us. Um, she was with him because she wanted to be with him, not because she needed him to do stuff for her, kind of thing. I wonder if that's a hard thing for some men to.
Next thing is a strong woman knows what she wants. As a strong woman myself, I will say that I agree with that completely. But I think this comes with age and wisdom as well. And I think that strength that strong women have comes from age and wisdom. We've been through a lot of things, we've experienced a lot of things, which means we have a greater grasp of what works for us and what doesn't.
I'm reminded that I tried that once. I had a flat tire, and I called my ex. I have a flat tire, and I was dressed to the nines, by the way. Dressed to the nines. I got a flat tire. And his response was like, what do you want me to do about it? Well, yeah, come help me? And I don't know what I can't remember what he was doing, but he was doing something that he couldn't, like, drop everything and come to my aid, kind of thing. So I said, okay, all right, I guess I'm getting dirty then. So I started pulling the tire out of the trunk, and when I say dress to the nines, I mean I'm wearing stuff that dirt is gonna show. And but then another guy, a guy actually showed up and came and helped me change the tire because he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm changing my tire. I got a flat tire. I got to fix it." And he's like, "I can help you with that." And so he helped me. And then my ex showed up like, then he got mad because somebody else helped me. So why did you call me then? Well, I needed you at the time. I don't need you now. Anyway.
I think that would apply to any woman, not in particular, because it always seems like it has to be these women that's gone through like countless struggles and all of these other things. I would say the same thing of a woman who's, lived 50 years. Regardless, she may not have ever been through anything real in her life, but with age comes wisdom. So she's been around, she's seen things, she understands what works for her and what doesn't. So I think I would apply that to any woman, but for strong women in particular, we know what we want. And we are not willing to put up with a whole lot of BS, which is further down in the list.
The next one is a strong woman will require honesty and vulnerability. I don't know. Well, yeah, our society, the American society, places a lot on machismo, just this macho man, and I think it comes from being such a patriarchal society where men handled everything and they were the breadwinners for the family and all that kind of stuff. Then they went to one war too many, and women started taking care of themselves, and and fought to stay in those positions to where they can take care of themselves. And now we are at a point to where men are still trying to, these most men that the article is talking about, trying to be maintain that macho role, and that's not what we're looking for, because that it's a lie. And like psychologists can even back that up. Like it's hurting you to put on this facade that you have everything under control, because you don't. So when you're dealing with strong women, we don't like to be lied to, and we need you to be open enough that if you make a mistake, it's okay, and you can admit it instead of trying to play it off, like in the car and refusing to ask for directions. I mean, we have our phones now. But back in the day, it was, why don't you just ask for directions? Nope, nope, I know where I'm going. No, you don't, because we're lost. Just ask for directions. No, no, no. I'll find it. I'll find it. Well, all right then. I guess we're gonna be driving for a bit. Can you pull over to the gas station so I can go pee?
A strong woman will require honesty and vulnerability. I think that is true for a strong woman, that you have to be honest, because again, like I said in number 2, we've been around long enough to know what works for us and what doesn't. And when we see BS coming, it's like we can kind of see that from a mile away. And people say it's game. Like some people say, "Oh, I have game," and all this other stuff. We can see game coming a mile away, and you can keep it a mile away, because we're not trying to hear that, right?
A strong woman can see through lies. I think often about this time. Um, this man I was involved with. He had come home, and I looked at him, and something was not right. I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know. And it wasn't even like something blatant. It was just something is off. Like there's a disturbance in the force. So it wasn't anything that I couldn't see. I didn't find anything that clued me in or anything like that. I just looked at him, and he looked at me. What? And I looked at him. I don't know. Nothing. 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 Just nothing. What? Nothing. Nothing. I'm just looking. I'm just looking. I'm just looking. You just got back. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay. I'm just looking. And then later on, he confessed to having an affair. So it was like, we know we can, and it kind of feels like there's a disturbance in the force. There's something that's not on point. You ain't got to lie, Craig. just tell the truth. Because that part, when we're lied to, it takes away our ability to make informed decisions. It takes away our choice. And we fought too hard and too long to not have a say as to what we allow in our lives. When you're not honest, it hurts. And I'm just gonna leave that alone. It hurts, and it's not necessary. It's not even necessary, because we're gonna find out eventually anyway. So just tell us.
And it says that strong women who are not intimidated by intimacy are comfortable in their sexuality. And I think that's absolutely true. We've learned over the years that all of the high school things that still exist in adulthood, they don't really apply to us, because we have kind of navigated the BS and came out clean on the other side. That's a quote from one of my favorite movies. If you get it, me and you are here. All right. A strong woman can see through lies. I think for the most part, this is true, because we do have a pretty high BS detector. Not always, because sometimes we get got too. But for the most part, I think we have learned to be optimistically skeptical. And the reason I say that is because a lot of times, we want to be hopeful. We want to know that when we meet people or encountering people, we take them at face value. But it's just that we know that there is a possibility that this person may not be on the up and up. So we get to know them and see if they work in our lives. And if you have children, it's even more so, because you have to be able to weed out people that are going to be detrimental to your family or good for your family, right? Let's see. A strong woman requires integrity and consistency. They want to know that a man has integrity, right? I think, but again, I think that could be said at any age of any woman that has a level of maturity. Is just understanding that you've got to come correct. You can't come, with a whole bunch of BS, because like I said, we've learned to navigate BS and we really don't have tolerance for it. And we know and have learned over the years that we really don't have to put up with a whole lot. There is a quote that I've always loved from Dr. Maya Angelou. She said, when people tell you who they are, believe them. And that has kind of been my national anthem. That is, those are not national anthem. What's the word I'm looking for? That has been kind of like my declaration of independence, right? Because anything that I have ever done or encountered in my life falls in line with that quote. When people show me who they are, regardless of who they are, they could be related to you, they could be a coworker, whatever the case may be. When they show you who they are, you've got to believe them. You've got to take them for their words. So if someone says to you, oh, I can be a bit of a jerk, oh, believe that. They probably are a jerk. You're like, oh no, you're not a jerk. Oh, he told Jay himself that he was a jerk. So don't be surprised later on when you find out he got some jerky ways, because he told you he was a jerk, right? So I think that having that integrity and having that consistency is very important to strong women. Let's see, what else do they say in here? Strong women, a strong woman is intense. Now, this one I think is a little unfair, because I think that statement can be misleading, because strong women are a lot of times vilified for being strong women, made to seem harsh. And this is particularly true when it comes to strong Black women. We're seen as these harsh creatures that are difficult to deal with. And it's like, is she difficult to deal with, or has she just learned enough to know that you're full of SHI blank, right? So I think when I hear things like that, not I think, but I know when I hear things like that, I think it's unfair. I think it's an unfair representation of strong women, because I don't think we have any more intensity than the next person, right? We've just learned, and we may be at a different level. So when you're interacting with people that are either below or above your level, you kind of have to learn and navigate how they are. Have you guys ever heard of like love languages? Not everybody speaks the same language when it comes to love or relationships or, person to person interactions. So you have to kind of meet those people where they are. If you choose to date a person that is on a different level than you, then they have to be willing to meet you where you are, just like you have to be willing to meet them where they are. This intensity that they talk about says that women who are powerful or strong women have been through some dark, depressing times. And it's like, why does it always have to be like that for you to be considered a strong person? Why do you always have to have, dragged yourself through the mud and muck and come out clean? It's not always about that. Sometimes it's just as simple as knowing who you are, knowing your value, knowing your worth. Sometimes that does come with age. And like I said, I'm talking about age of maturity, not necessarily age of, your birth. But a person who is strong, who understands themselves, who has made peace with themselves, who have accepted themselves fully, to me, that's strength. And that's not a level of intensity. That's a person who's willing to look themselves straight in the eye and say, tell me, girl, what do you need? And make sure she gets it. Okay?
Yes. A strong woman will not wait for you. Yeah. She won't. She's got stuff to do. Like, if something needs to be fixed, if her car breaks down on the road and it's something that she cannot do herself, like I said, I learned how to change a tire, so that I'm not calling anybody for that. I'm gonna take care of that myself. A unless it's raining. Then I'm going to call my insurance company and have them come bring somebody else. But I'm handling it. I call the insurance company. I know how to do that. Um, or if she's moving and she's asked you, can you help me move? And you dilly-dally about it, well, she's going to either ask somebody else or she's just going to handle it. Get a moving company. She ain't got to wait for you. Just, if a woman asks you for something, and especially if she's strong, she's placed her own self in a vulnerable position for you to say no to her. And she set herself up for disappointment. Or for, yay, he came through kind of thing. So the hope is you'll come through. But if you don't, then now she's got to reset kind of thing. So skip all that and just handle it. Just, do you want to help? Can you help me move? Can you help me with this thing here? No response, no response. Okay, well, I guess you don't want to help. I'm going to go take care of it. And then you come around like, but you did it already? Yeah, I asked you that last week. I needed to have it done. I wasn't asking for, like, if I needed to pencil you in somewhere. No.
Did that seem intense? A strong woman will not wait for you. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Now, this one is a little tricky to navigate. For myself personally, I have a tendency to be of the mindset of, let's go. I'm one of those kind, like, let's go, right? Depending on what it is. But when we talk about life and life situations, yeah, I need you to come on. Come on. Yeah, I'll slow down to kind of wait for you, but I'm not going to stop. So you need to, if you're not where I am, you need to kind of come on and catch up, right? Like I said, I'm willing to slow down a little bit to say, hey, come on, but at the same time, we're making progress. We're moving ahead, right? People to see, places to go, right? That one was always tricky for me. And the me in me was like, peace out. The me in me would go anyway, right? And depending on who you're talking to, some people will say you wrong for that, girl. And other people will be like, that's right, So it depends on who you talk to, I guess. But I again, a strong woman will not wait for you. I will slow down, but I will not stop.
Come save me thing, but that didn't work. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah, so I do really need to take care of myself and handle it. And my mom was big on if you didn't know how to do something, you improvise kind of thing. Like, how do you fix a screen door? Let's see what goes into making a screen door and check out the screen door and look at it. Oh, okay, I need this rope here. All right, let's go to the store. Let's go get it fixed. Or whatever. And we just learn how to do stuff on our own without having to depend on people, period, let alone men. All right, lastly, a strong woman will show you who you are. I believe that's the case because we spend a lot of time learning who we are. And so we see things in other people. I'm reminded of like when I'm learning, when I learn something new about myself, or I learn something that I knew but didn't really want to acknowledge. So like I noticed that if somebody does something that I don't like, and I'm really like passionate about this person doing something I don't like, I have to check to see if it's something that I do, because sometimes it's something that I do, and that's why I don't like it. So now I have to reset myself. Like, okay, like driving a certain way. Like somebody, like you're in a turning lane, and then somebody who's not in the turning lane cuts in front of you and blocks traffic because they forgot or whatever that they needed to go that way, but they're in a lane that goes that way, so they cut and they hold up traffic on in the other lane who needs to go forward because they're trying to turn. And I'm sitting in the car like, held up traffic. And then there comes that day when, oh, that's my turn. Shucks. Dang it. Excuse me. I need to. Oh, thanks. Oops, I'm blocking traffic. So we learn things about ourselves, and so and then the other part about that is relationships do that anyway. Especially good relationships, they show you who you are. I liken it to like a ebb and flow kind of thing.
A strong woman will love you unconditionally. I like this one to an extent because I think for me, I will love you unconditionally until you freak it all up. Again, cautiously optimistic, right? I look forward to it, but if you mess it up, then I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Right? So I think this one, we will ride or die. You got some ride or die chicks out there. You really do. And a lot of times, because we do have that misconception that there's going to be an intensity or there's going to be a level of, they're going to be like these overbearing, women that tell you what to do. And that is not the case. Nobody has time to raise you or try to tell you what to do. I'm not trying to do that. I don't think any strong woman is trying to do that. We're trying to get things done. We're trying to make life better, right? And if you're going to be a part of our lives, we need you to come on and make life better too. For yourself, for us, win-win, right? But loving you unconditionally, I think there's some truth to that, because again, we've kind of learned to navigate the BS. We know what we want. And if you're giving us that, we will love you unconditionally. But if you're not giving us that, then we know when to let you go, right? So yeah. And then the last one, a strong woman will show you who you are. And that goes back to the Maya Angelou quote that I was talking about. When a person shows you who they are, believe them. A lot of times women get themselves into trouble because they think they can fix or change a man or a person in a relationship, man, woman, it doesn't matter. We get into trouble because we think that we can change a person. You can't change a person. Of course, a person has got to be willing to change all on their own, even if what you're saying is 100% legitimate and accurate, right? If your man is trying to come up and you're like, well, what would help you come up faster is if you took some college courses. That's just a fact. That's not hating on him, and that's not, degrading him or bullying him or belittling him or emasculating him. That is speaking the fact. If he takes some college courses, get a degree, he gonna come up a lot faster than if he just tries to work through the system from the ground up, right? So I think it takes a man of strength to date a woman of strength, because I think a man of strength is already secure in himself. In the article, it mentions that a man of strength is probably raised by a strong woman. I think that's unfair as well, because there are some awesome dads out there who do teach their sons how to be men. Having an individual who understands who they are and understands and are comfortable in their own skin is where you'll meet a man of strength or a woman of strength or whoever you're looking for, right? I think that that's where you'll find that strength, because that's where you find the strength within yourself. And it's always pleasant when you can look yourself in the mirror and be like, girl, I like that. Right? When you look at yourself and know you got it going on. When you look at yourself and you know that, I'm good. Right? Because there's another quote, and I don't remember who said it. And it said that, being alone is not the same thing as being lonely. And I'm talking to my single girls now, because a lot of times that's what get women into trouble as well, because they feel like they have to meet this deadline, this timeline, and rush out, get a man, have babies, do all of these things that society and life says you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to do it by a certain time. Says who? Who says these things? And if they're not paying your bills or living your life, they don't know. So I think that you really need to become comfortable within yourself. Then you will really understand that no matter what comes your way, whether it be a man, whether it be a job, whether it be, in-laws, whatever the case may be, you'll be able to handle it because your strength comes from inside. So whether you're with somebody or not, you're good either way because your strength is within you.
So with relationships, it ends up it's that way. You have that period of rest where you're both calm or whatever, calm and you everything's great, and then you have those periods of stress where you're learning about yourself and about each other. But then there's that period like, okay, so this is who we are, this is what is happening with us now. Let's work through it so that we're better for it, kind of thing. And then that builds a healthy relationship, and that's with friendship, with family, and with relationships with a partner, for lack of a better word these days, because it's not man and woman, with your significant other. That's what I'm looking for. The relationship with the significant other, you have those moments where you're tested, but if you're both willing to work through it, then you both come out the better for it. And why would you talk about her like that? Well, she's this, she's that. So if you talk about her like that, you talk about me like that? No, that's different. I'm a woman. At any rate, so that's my spill on the most men not being able to handle strong women. Please let us know what you think. Comments are very, very important to us. Please like and subscribe, but definitely do all of that, and definitely comment below. Let us know what you think about what we've talked about. We need to. Inquiring minds want to know. Okay. Now, I appreciate you watching. May from Unbasic Black. Again, like, subscribe, comment. Thank you. See you next time.
So, after reading this article, I really had to take a pause and say, what exactly was this article saying? And like I said, there were some things in there that, like women being strong women being intense and things like that. I didn't like that kind of language because I don't think strong women are any more intense than anybody else. I just think that we've learned to navigate, and we're really good navigators, and we are pretty, we're pretty good intuits, right? Is that a word? Intuits? I don't know if that's right. Empaths. That we can see, we can see the signs and all of that, and we get a sixth sense about things, and we know when something is not working for us, right? And I think May mentioned this, and I think most women or people do have kind of a sixth sense when they know something is not quite right? And I think strong women possess a heightened ability to do this. So I will leave it there. Tell us what you think. Leave a comment in the description. If you have some thoughts or opinions about this, let us know. We'd like to hear from you.
Okay. Now, I appreciate you watching. May from Unbasic Black. Again, like, subscribe, comment. Thank you. See you next time.
I am Angel with Unbasic Black, and I want to thank you for watching. Oh, my earrings are from Alexei Jewelry. She is always so kind to let me wear pieces for my videos that I record. So thank you to her, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.